Welcome back, champions. Today we explore one of the most powerful and unsettling concepts introduced by Nietzsche, the death of God. We will delve into what Nietzsche truly meant by this statement and how it has rippled through the very core of modern life, shaping the way we perceive ourselves, our actions, and the world around us. Prepare yourselves to understand how this idea challenges everything, pushing us toward a new form of existence and forcing us to confront the depths of our own being. First, let us acknowledge the gravity of Nietzsche's declaration, "God is dead." This statement is not to be taken literally, but rather as a profound commentary on the state of humanity. Nietzsche was not concerned with a theological death. Instead, he was announcing the death of an old paradigm, one that governed not just religion, but the entirety of human life and values. For centuries, the idea of God provided an ultimate foundation for morality, meaning, and purpose. But as human knowledge expanded, as science, reason, and individual thought began to rise, this once dominant belief started to crumble. Nietzsche did not see this as a moment of celebration, but as a crisis, a necessary, painful, and inevitable evolution in human consciousness. To truly grasp the implications of Nietzsche's philosophy, we must first understand what it means to live in a world where the traditional values that once anchored our existence no longer hold sway. The death of God represents a profound rupture in the fabric of meaning itself. Without an external authority, a divine figure to give us meaning, we are left with an empty canvas. This emptiness is not a void to be feared, but a space of potential, a challenge to us to fill it with our own creations. In the absence of God, Nietzsche proposes that we as individuals are called to become creators of meaning. This is where his concept of the Übermensch or overman comes into play. The Übermensch is the one who takes responsibility for their own existence, who shapes their own destiny without relying on external moral systems or divine guidance. In Nietzsche's world, we are no longer subjects under the rule of any higher power. Instead, we must become the masters of our own fate, forging new values and finding new purposes in a world that no longer provides them for us. What does this mean for us in the modern world? We live in an age where the traditional structures, religion, government, societal expectations, no longer hold the same power over us. We are free, but with that freedom comes responsibility. It's not enough to simply survive. We must create a life worth living, a life defined by our own values, our own will. This is the essence of Nietzsche's philosophy: to overcome the limitations imposed by tradition and embrace the challenge of self-overcoming. In the wake of the death of God, we are called to question everything. What do we value? What do we live for? These are not easy questions to answer, and they require a deep and honest examination of the self. For Nietzsche, the path to true freedom begins with self-awareness, a clear-eyed understanding of our desires, fears, and limitations. We must not be afraid to confront our darkness, for it is in this darkness that we find the strength to transcend ourselves. But Nietzsche's vision of human potential is not one of mere rebellion or nihilism. While the death of God shatters the old systems, it also opens the door to new possibilities. We are given the power to create new values, new goals, and new meaning. This is where the concept of eternal recurrence comes in, a test of whether we are truly living the life we want to live. Imagine that your life, with all its struggles, triumphs, and failures, were to repeat itself infinitely. Would you be content with that repetition, or would you strive to live in a way that would make you proud, even in the face of endless recurrence? The death of God, then, is not an end, but a beginning. It is a call to us to take up the mantle of self-creation, to reject the passive existence of the herd, and to strive for greatness. Nietzsche challenges us to look within and find the strength to live authentically, to define ourselves by our actions and our will, not by the expectations of others or by any external moral code. This is the essence of Nietzschean philosophy, a call to arms against mediocrity, a demand to rise above the ordinary and to embrace the extraordinary potential that lies dormant within each of us. But the journey does not end with self-creation. For Nietzsche, the path of the 𝐉𝐴𝐺 is not one of isolation, but of engagement with the world. The 𝐉𝐴𝐺 is not a solitary figure living outside of society. Rather, they are someone who, through their strength and creativity, becomes a force that shapes the world. Nietzsche speaks of the will to power, not just as domination over others, but as the power to shape and mold reality itself. We must become forces of nature, driven by an inner fire that propels us to achieve greatness not just for ourselves, but for the world. As we reflect on Nietzsche's words and his vision for humanity, we are left with an undeniable truth. The death of God is both a burden and a blessing. It is a call to action, a challenge to us to step into our own power and create meaning in a world that no longer provides it for us. We must be the ones to build the foundations of a new world, one based on the values we choose, not those imposed on us. And in doing so, we become the masters of our own fate, the creators of our own destiny. This message is for those of us who reject the comfortable and predictable, those willing to face the raw truth of existence and carve out a new path forward. It is for those who are prepared to take full responsibility for their lives and their greatness, to rise above the average, and to claim their rightful place among the few who dare to live authentically and without compromise. So, what does this mean for you? It means that the time for excuses is over. The death of God has left us with a blank slate, but that does not mean we can sit idly by. It is time to take action. It is time to confront the world on your own terms, to shape your life in the image of your deepest desires and highest aspirations. You have the power to create meaning in your life. You have the strength to overcome whatever stands in your way. It's time to embrace that power, to rise up and claim what is rightfully yours. If you feel that inner call, that deep hunger for something more, then it is time to act. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the world to change. You are the change. You are the force that will shape the future. So rise up, take control, and make the life you've always dreamed of. Become the 𝐉𝐴𝐺. If you enjoyed this video and want to continue exploring the depths of ancient wisdom and personal transformation, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated. By subscribing, you consciously choose to fill your feed with the content that will help you grow and expand your mindset. Also, don't forget to check out our other videos to continue developing your masculinity and gaining deeper insights into life's challenges. Until next time, champions, stay strong and stay committed to your path.